Good evening, everybody. It's so wonderful to have you join us for this year's Light Up a Life celebration. And we're especially excited to have the four of you join us, representing communities in our local area. And so to get us started, I just want everybody to introduce themselves, maybe share what community you're representing, where the Remembrance Tree for your community is located. And Tina, I'm going to start with you if you'll introduce yourself.
My name is Tina Fanucchi-Frontado, and I'm representing Carpinteria. And our beautiful tree is at the Seal Fountain right there on Linden Avenue in downtown Carpinteria.
Wonderful. Joyce, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Joyce Dudley, and I'm representing Santa Barbara, and the tree in Santa Barbara is in front of the magnificent Libero Theater.
Wonderful. And how long have you been involved with Light Up a Life?
Boy, I would say around 10 years.
Great. Thank you, Joyce. Anne?
I'm Anne Pazier, and I have the good fortune of representing the good land, Goleta, and the beautiful tree at the Camino Real Marketplace and restaurants and our farmers market there. And I've had the unique privilege of watching that giant tree be built this year.
Wonderful. And Sharon, how about yourself?
I'm Sharon Byrne. I'm representing Montecito, and our lovely tree is in the Upper Village on the green, and it's in front of Pierre Lafont, which is where the community convenes for coffee and conversation. So it's in the perfect spot with a beautiful mountain backdrop behind it. And I've been involved with Light Up a Life since you introduced me to it, Charles, 3 years ago.
Makes me feel grateful that we can come together for Light Up a Life. As you think about Light Up a Life, and Joyce, I'll start with you this time. What does Light Up a Life mean to you? Why is it important?
When I think of Light Up a Life, I think of those who we've lost. And when people often draw the analogy that when the person dies, there's a dimmer switch. And that dimmer switch goes, and then there are memories, and it gets harder and harder to remember what they looked like, what they sounded like. And when you think about Light Up a Life, what it means to me is it means putting that spotlight back on that person, bringing them back to life, lighting up a life. And I think that ability to do that reminds us that we have the ability to love and be loved, which are the two greatest things in the world.
Who will you be dedicating a star to this year?
Still can't say it without crying. My husband, John.
Yeah, absolutely. Tina, what's it mean to you?
Unity. I think grief is that thread that binds us all. And to have space where you can be your authentic self in that moment and not have to be on, and can sit with all of it that comes up during holidays, particularly. I get it all year round, but holidays can be extremely difficult. My brother's been gone almost 30 years now, and there's days like it's still yesterday that I feel it. We as a country, we're not real educated on how to manage grief, not just for ourselves, but for others. And I think Hospice of Santa Barbara does a phenomenal job giving us a space for that.
The star that you'll dedicate
the stars. So, of course, my brother, Stephen Enrico Fanucchi, my mother, Rosemary Fanucchi, and my father, Nilo Fanucchi.
Wonderful. Thank you. Anne, what are your thoughts about Light Up a Life?
We arrived at the doors of hospice 13 years ago when we lost our daughter, Brooke. And so when I entered into the holiday season, it had just been about a month since that had happened. And a holiday that we celebrate, at least, is all about an arrival of a baby and preparing room for it. And it was especially difficult. And for anybody that's listening that is going through that, I completely hear you. This is a difficult holiday when you're grieving the loss of a child, certainly. But my son was 5 at the time. And so I felt like I was, and that's the magic of Light Up a Life, is that it's a time of year when everybody is supposed to be so happy and so joyful. And it's hard to figure out where to put your grief at that time. You know, you walk into a Christmas party, you've definitely got to park that somewhere. But I loved gathering with a bunch of other people that it felt safe to be enjoying the holidays, but also through tears and through remembrance. And I will never forget the first star when we put Brooke's name on the tree, and my 5-year-old son was with the group of kids that got to flip the switch, and it was magical. And it has become just part of our tradition every year. And this year, you know, we certainly will put Brooke's name on the tree, but I have a name, and I knew there was going to come a year when we had to put her name on the tree, but my friend Tara Holland Ford will be on the tree this year. And I know that she has really made a big impact on this community in so many deep ways. But I think she would love to know that she's on that tree, and anybody that wants to put more of her name on that tree, you can never get too much of Tara.
Thank you so much. And Sharon?
Those are hard acts to follow. So like everyone, I lost someone this year. I will be putting a star on the tree for, and you're all making me very misty right now. I will be putting a star on the tree for my father, Desmond Byrne, who passed in February. And he was the consummate English gentleman, knew everything about anything in the world, just a living encyclopedia, so much fun to talk to. And I will forever miss at least Sunday calls with him, right? Where I got a chance to say, what's going on in Tunisia, you know? And so it's just, you know, he just kept on top of everything. So that was hard. And right after he passed, my poor cousin lost her father. So my dad and my uncle went within very short time of each other. And so Light Up a Life has a big, important meaning for me. I have to tell you that the placement of the Light Up a Life tree in Montecito is absolutely flawlessly perfect, because the Montecito skies are very dark at night. Very dark at night. And so you're driving up the road and you see this sparkly little Christmas tree, you know, just out on the green. And it's, you know, sort of in the middle of this very dark night sky, very dark community. And it just looks like a little sparkle of hope over there. And you just want to kind of go over there and get next to it, right? I mean, it's like a little uplifting kind of a thing, right? For me, all of that, the light kind of in the darkness, the symbolism of all of it, it's a beautiful time of year to do this, and it's a beautiful ceremony and a great way of giving you a space and a container to pull that love back into your life and just be so grateful that you ever had it, right? And to remember that person.
Well, thank you all for being willing to share from your heart about those that you love. It's what Light Up Life's really all about: individual journey, our family's journey, and that we do it together. Thank you all for joining us, all of you. Thank you.